Good evening. Hello, hello. Right, finally. Good God. Man, I hate those days. You plan everything and then you want to go live. You start the sim and it just doesn't load. It took about, I think, 20 minutes now. A lot of people are reporting issues at the moment, at least with Microsoft 2020. Right, I'm not going to go and rant, so don't worry. We're happy that we're in the sim. We're currently loaded in Vilnius. So guys, if you remember, we flew here on the last stream, currently on our European tour with the FSLabs. Hello Magus, nice to see you. And so guys, hello also on YouTube, Mr. Ploxygen, Dexter. Yeah, Dexter, it took about 20 minutes, but I was lucky enough that it didn't crash on after loading. I don't know. Honestly, I'm lucky enough just to test the FSLabs here in Microsoft. I have no idea when it's releasing.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box.
They don't tell me that sort of stuff. So
could new subscribers please make
we just
your
have
way
to be patient.
the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks, and premium flight entertainment will be served. Thank you.
Good evening. Hope you are well. BB711 beloved.
Thank you so much, Luke. Vielen Dank. 55 months, Luke. Thank you very much for that long-term support. I will give you some lovely round of applause for that. Again, thank you so much. Don't report any bugs. This will delay things. Well, I mean, I think, there's a couple of people, Katie, Pilot, Flyboys or Johnny, myself, and some others that are some real-world pilots doing some testing. And of course, if we find bugs, yeah, we do report them, of course. FSLabs want you to have a fantastic working aircraft when it's released. Hey, Bodo Moin. And Lilienthal, hello to you as well. Right, let's see. T. Revenger, hello. Yeah, Ollie, the thing is, I don't want to comment, in regards to, why does it suddenly take longer to load here in Microsoft 2020, right? Yeah, it's just the way it is. Let's hope they fix these things and we can move on. That would be great. Right, just need to do this real quickly. There we go. So I hope you're all having a fantastic Saturday, and I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Big storm in the UK. We'll have a look at that in a minute. But for now, oh yeah, and the reason why we do this tour in one aircraft type is that once we fire up the aircraft, we will see the electronic tech log, and so let's see what what new things it may bring or not. So it's persistent, meaning the wear and tear as we fly along will continue. Now, there's one thing I do want to do though. So you know that we've got service-based failure rate at mean time between failures, so real-world statistical data, if you like. I would actually like to kind of boost that to medium. That doesn't mean that we're going to have instant failures. It just means that the likelihood increases a bit. Now, they have published something in that regard. Let me see if I can quickly find it. Hey, Bodo. Oh, okay, so all the time. So Christmas and New Year you're going to be in Washington. Okay, well, it's a long time. I'm not sure. Are you sad that you're not at home, or is that something you don't really mind? Oh, you're flying like on holiday. Oh, I thought you were working. Like, I see. Right, let me just have a look here for. Can I find this? It's in the EFB anyways. All right, I'm going to put this to medium. I'm going to tell you in a minute how much higher the likelihood is of failures. Instant engine failure. Flying Wolf, wie geht's dir? And Trostbrot, hello to you. Yeah, so the work is ongoing regarding textures, guys. Now, I know people, you know, they will tell you, oh, you know, textures here and there look better than here in the FSLabs. I can only say that for me, the way the textures are looking just fine. It does not break my immersion in any form, right? The only aircraft really that breaks my visual immersion in some parts is the TOLIS. But otherwise, yeah, there's aircraft that may have superb visuals, and there's aircraft that have very good visuals, right? So you know, you make up your own mind, you know, how much you want to rate these visuals. I'm happy with this. Exactly, Crytek, and that's what I keep telling people is that, you know, don't allow others to influence your opinions. All right. So of course, I mean, if there's something really, really badly wrong with an add-on, you know, like the A330 from Aerosoft, right? I mean, then it's a good thing that you have people calling it out, no doubt. But otherwise, if the aircraft is, you know, flying just fine, and the way, you know, certain things are simulated, right? Just try to get a good picture regarding streams and videos and so on, reports, and then decide for yourself if it's worth the money for you or not. I've seen this. I mean, we all have been here, right, in this flight sim world, or the most of us have been in the flight sim world for, you know, 10+ years, so a very long time, right? We've seen this over and over and over again. New releases coming out, and it seems like it just, you know, it just repeats itself, right? The way, you know, some people behave, some people then, you know, this some software or some add-ons and so on, right? Right, I just want to do the sound volumes here, guys. So we did set the cockpit sound volume 50%. So I honestly hope now, I'm not sure if it's possible. All I can do is give feedback to the developers at FSLabs, and they replied saying that, well, they're aiming for realistic simulations, so that includes the sounds. And that means an A321, you don't hear PTU in the cockpit. You don't hear yellow hydraulic pump in a cockpit. You don't hear the engines really, unless you go, you know, full takeoff power. Or at least, let's say 50-60% power, right? So the rest is so subdued, especially in the 321, that you know, it is realistic the way, you know, you hear the circulation fans right now, the ventilation fans, etc. So, but my argument then was, you know, yes, I fully understand. However, you know, flight sim fans or flight simulator pilots or whatever, they want to have maybe some, you know, a little bit of engine sound in the flight deck, right? So I kind of asked them, would it not be possible to implement maybe one more, you know, setting here? So some slider in here regarding, yeah, so we have engine sound volume, right? So engine sound, and you have cockpit sound. And so I said, well, how about, you know, just for the ventilation sounds, so that you don't have to reduce the, you know, all of the cockpit sounds, just the ventilation sounds. Well, they said they're going to have a look into it. No promises, but I know that, yeah, some of you love the engine sounds in the flight deck. Not realistic, but still, you know, it's a wish. Who knows? Yeah, Avenger, that's true. Cool. Hey, Iowa Scotsman, how are you? Weather radar. So Paul, the comment was that. Right. Ooh, hang on. How do I? Hold on. Let me just start. I'm not sure if one of the devs is watching. I know that there's probably a trick on how to get the EFP started right now. I mean, I can start it over the web browser. Let me just have a look here. So it's there. Hey, crazy David Duncan, how is it? Is it still a, you know, is it a bug or? Yeah, Duncan, right? So beautiful timing. GG's. Now, so I started this from cold and dark, and I've literally not had an issue. It's charging. Okay, so it discharged because I haven't been flying this aircraft for a couple of days. Okay, anyways, guys, so if you want, of course, you have an external EFB. You can use that with a browser window. You can use that with an iPad if you like. So we can just wait patiently until the iPad here in the aircraft has loaded. But in the meantime, I wanted to talk about our technical logbook. So if we look at the flight history, we've done 3 flights, right? So we've done 2 flights on the tour, and this one was a test flight that I did with this this aircraft. So again, it's persistent until you reset things. Can you turn off battery discharge? What do you mean, can you turn off battery discharge? For the EFB, I don't know. I would have to ask the devs for that. Anyway, so oh yeah, Duncan. Yeah, I've heard. I was just about to say regarding the storms in the UK. I hope everyone's okay in the UK. And yeah, I was watching that today, especially with some of the live streams. You know, Birmingham Airport and Big Jet TV. Call AppleCare. Peter, that doesn't work. Like I said, one of the devs has just said that we should be patient until this thing charges up a bit. It's a touch blowy, just a tad. Only 55 knots. Right, so yeah, flight history, and we've done some fairly decent landing rates. So I'm quite happy with that. And today we're going to fly from Vilnius to Helsinki. On the first flight, the second flight will then take us from Vilnius to, from Helsinki to Gothenburg. And I'll show you the weather in a minute. We're going to have winter operations. Hey, MAN. Are you flying along, MAN, by any chance? So we are going to... get some winter operations today with de-icing for sure. So let me just have a look here at the status page. And again, you can see that with the engines being off, we have a maintenance message. And this is a level 1 defect entered by maintenance for us. So it says QAR maintenance message on status page, which we have. You can see that here. And the reset carried out, nil fix in accordance with AMM. That was, what's it called? Aircraft maintenance something, I think. And then transfer to level 1, ADD, and then dispatched in accordance with MEL 310001 Alpha Cat D. So Cat D means expiry 120 days. So it does have some time left for that until, literally, it would only have to be fixed latest by the 31st. So in accordance with the maintenance manual, aircraft maintenance manual. Okay, like that. My brain doesn't allow to have all of these different abbreviations to be stored. MAN, I'll be here for another 25-30 minutes at least for preparations. So let's see. Do we have any luck now? Oh, there we go. Look. Yeah, 6%. So Duncan, of course, being the expert here, he was correct. So we allowed the iPad to be discharged. And so now it's loaded. That's fantastic. Happy with that. So there we go. Now we have the tech log available for us, and I'm not sure. I'm going to have a look for the MEL 310001. But sometimes, if there's no operating procedure for us, then it may not be referenced here in the documents. Oh, really, Max Crosswind? You work as a de-icing at Helsinki, man. Hey, you know what, Max Crosswind? Then maybe we've actually almost met, because I mean I've de-iced in Helsinki on the A320 at least 10 times, and it's on the remote pad, and it's just so fast, and you have all those displays, really cool stuff. So yeah, you guys know how to de-ice up there. Cool. Yeah, Max Crossman, much appreciated. Yeah, I'm not sure how much time you have available, but I do appreciate the offer. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we probably did talk of the frequency then. Cool. So documents. Let's have a quick look. Okay, Max Crossman, much appreciated. Much appreciated. Thank you so much for that. So let's have a look for the mail items here. So we're going to expand that. And then it was 31, indicating and recording. Now let's have a look again. What was that message? Yeah, so 00 normally is more for info. So the 00s we don't usually get. Normally what it says in our real world documentation, it would say that the status message maintenance QAR is allowed to be shown. Restrictions none. That's literally what it says when you see that ATA 31, so indicating recording systems, and then 00. That's normally the first chapter in that indicating chapter. Then it's usually just a info note for us pilots, may be displayed on the status page. That's all. So there's no operating procedure for us today. That's fine. So we can accept that. We've had a decal that has been there already a couple of days as well. And then a new one, it seems, yeah, that came up yesterday from maintenance. Reading light 26 Delta not working. Level 2 AD raised due to nil spare parts. But that's really more passenger comfort. Right, that's not really safety relevant for us. So all good on that. Cool. Oh yeah, Duncan, why are you here? So if I put service based to medium, how much does that increase the likelihood of failures?
Subscriber experience. Could new subscribers please make your way to the first class cabin?
Oh, okay, Border, your sister lives in Washington.
Snacks
nice.
And premium flight entertainment will be served. Thank you.
Hey, Brennhold, wie geht's dir?
Hey Captain Black Box, good evening and a nice weekend. Wow, already going straight to 100 weeks. Smiley face.
It's great. You know what, Brennhold? When we hit 100, right, when you guys, you lovely people that have been supporting for so long, when we hit 100, it's going to be pretty much when I've retired. Yeah. 100 months, I mean, crazy, right? Brennhold, vielen Dank for 89 months, Brennhold. Dankeschön. And of course, for all of your support, Brennhold. Vielen Dank. So if you put that to medium, it means one failure every 30 flight hours. To give you an idea. Yeah, we do some interesting stuff, crazy. Duncan. So yeah, we'll do that. All right. Yeah, we're ready for it. I mean, you're talking to the expert that didn't even notice that the autopilot was off on the last flight. So that was actually on the way to Warsaw. That was funny. Yeah, guys, I'll show you that. So in case you haven't seen that, it is funny. So sometimes, you know what they say, you're supposed to laugh over your own silliness sometimes, right? So let me have a look. Let me see if I can get the clip for you guys. There we go, clips. And that was, I think that was this one here, wasn't it? Let me just see. Yeah. So, how do I play this? How do I play this? So if I go... Yeah, let me just get to my own channel here. So, that's a shame. There's no direct link. Hang on, but I'll find it. Hang on, I'll find it. So this, and then I can. Okay, so all right, that was it, guys. All right, so just the explanation, right? We were going towards Warsaw, right? And here's the thing. Now I'm going to be right. So I'll put myself out there, okay? Switch on the batteries. Oh no, that was my story. That was the other story. Hang on, that was the other story. That was also funny, but that was the APU story time, wasn't it? Give me a second, give me a second, give me a second. It's this one here. Right, this one here. Right, so yeah, so currently we're getting a little bit low. The aircraft. So I'm looking at the display, right? And I'm seeing that we are getting below the path, right? And previously, I don't know what the reason was why I switched off the autopilot. But yeah, this is funny. Oh. The aircraft should lift the nose a little bit because we are a bit fast. Yeah, so what I'm missing here a little bit is that the aircraft... Oh, because the autopilot's not in. Oh. I took the autopilot out, didn't I? It's getting late. Yeah, so... Yeah, pro pilot at work, right? So... Yeah, so you guys, so I put this to medium, I can handle any failure. That's how pros do it, exactly. Yeah, I was getting really worked up. I was like, oh no, I found a big bug now in the FSLabs, right? Because I was, you know, wondering why the autopilot wouldn't react, right? But yeah, that explains it. Yeah, so, yeah, new overlay. Yeah, I'm trying Volanta. I am trying Volanta now, so. Good. Okay, so we've checked the technical logbook. I, as the captain, decided that I can accept the aircraft. And we can fly with it. Famous last words, right? Exactly. So the old layout, layout for the overlay there was SimToolkit Pro, but yeah, people say, you know, try Volanta, but the problem is, I think isn't Volanta also having thoughts about closing? Yeah, no release time yet, I'm afraid, no. Right, here's the menu. Yeah, right, so in it, that means we're going to start in it the flight plan here. Let's get things going, and I'll give you a quick overview of the routing. Let me also request the wind here real quickly, and then we're going to go and refuel the aircraft. So we're not a lifetime, so we're going to go 10:10. I do want to have a bit of daytime lighting today, so 10:10. We'll do refueling via GSX, send that off. Fantastic. So,
refueling truck is on its way.
what does the MEL say when one fire detection system has failed? Brian, well, I'll give you a quick look here. So mail items, fire protection. Let's have a look here really quickly. So Brenold, it depends on which loop is active. So APU fire loop, for example, there's the APU detection loop system. Then you will probably have, let's see, engine, APU, flight controls. We have to see. So anything that's not listed here, they will add maybe later. But in general, Brenold, if it's a general question, so usually you have two loops, A and B. And so it depends on which loop is inoperative, right? So one is required, you have two installed, and there's an operating procedure that you do as a pilot before each flight probably. For the APU, for example, if loop A is inoperative, APU fire test is made before each APU start to make sure the other channel is registering any overheat or fire, and then during APU operations on the ground, APU condition is continuously monitored in the cockpit. All right, and then you have a link to the procedure there, and so the APU fire test must be made before each start. That's just for the APU fire. So if there's no referral to the engine, then they have not implemented it yet, probably. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's quickly have a look at the flight plan. I was going to give you the information regarding routing and regarding weather and so on. Let's have a look at the weather first of all. So no SIGMETs, which is nice, and we have Vilnius here at good visibility, overcast 600 -0. So we'll check the wings before departure, see if we have any frost on the wings. If not, we can depart. Temporary, some freezing drizzle, and then later today or tomorrow morning, gonna have some rain and snow showers. Yeah, I remember that we had some, I've had a fire loop failure many times. I would say maybe 10-15 times overall, flying the A320 over the 12 years that I have, or 11 years. 11 years. You can dispatch. Because you have so many different, well, I have two loops at least. With two channel each, I think, is it? Yeah, channel 1, channel 2. So yeah, there's a lot of backup. No, Brennell, there's not. No, I think the only way you would see that is if you go into the maintenance pages on the real aircraft, and I think maintenance can do their tests. And maintenance will probably be able to check those. For us as a pilot, we don't go into these pages. We're not supposed to. We're not required to. So, if there's any issues, two loops, two channels, right? So so lots of backup in that regard. Cool. All right. So Helsinki, currently cloudy, -1, and they have temporary snow and snow grails. So it could be snowing there. Same later on as well. So we may have some snowfall there. The alternate, now it's taken Perkala again. I did want to take Tallinn, but it changed that automatically back again. Tampere, that's Tampere. That's fine. It will take Tampere. That's also good. So we have a few 500 overcast 2100 -2. And just 1 hour, prop 30, freezing drizzle snow, but that timeline is now gone already. So we're an hour past that. That means becoming between 16 to 1800 UTC, just broken 2000, and no more precipitation. So that's all right. You saw a video on an A350 electric compartment last week. Yeah, crazy, right? I mean, the 787 electric compartments, well, there's two big ones. So also crazy stuff. Oh yeah, and just like last week, guys, we may run into issues with the GPS system, and the aircraft isn't aligned yet, so not sure if the GP primary loss is because of that or because it actually is blocking. No, it's receiving. So sometimes that GPS primary loss will be displayed until the aircraft has done its alignment. So we just wait patiently until that goes away. Hey Nanook, yeah, have a good flight. Yeah, Brenold, honestly, that's something I honestly don't get my head around. Is that, yeah, how do technicians, engineers, yeah, keep an overview over the electronics? It is, it's mind-boggling. I have highest respect for these people. I don't know how they do that. Cool. Okay, so look at this. This is interesting. See this NOTAM here? So ILS-19, glide path signal fluctuation may be experienced on final approach, according to occasional pilot reports. I'm wondering if that was related to the crash, because that came out on the 4th. So just 3 days ago, until further notice. So at the moment, just pure speculation why the aircraft crashed there, but can you up the brightness in the left MCU? Of course, of course, of course. Yes, sir. Let's have a look. There we go. So, is that bright enough now? Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Easy. Yoda, yeah, as if. Right. If you say easy, yeah, right. That's what I say. Cool. Right. So anything big in here? Right. So altitude changes. 2,300 instead of 2,200. And ILS. Yeah. So MSA changes there. We can check that in the charts later on. Yeah, MOCA value 620. So they raised that as well to 630. That's for the RMP 22 right. Okay, no problem there. Cool. Alternate is open. Runway is open. Fantastic. Alrighty. Then for the flight plan, it's a short flight, so it's only 1 hour flight time. And we're departing 19 and probably will be landing on 04, but we can check that later. Expecting 67 tons, 0 fuel weight, so we have good load, and the fuel value should be in now already. That's supposed to be 6.5 roundabout. Ah, they're still fueling. Okay, so they're still fueling. 6.5, yeah, almost there. So we'll wait with the boarding until they're finished with that. I've seen that it could be, according to Volanta, we may get the tower controller online in Helsinki, which would be nice. So that's good to know. Hey, Phuket, hello to you. Turk in the US. Yeah, I'm sorry. Right, be aware, a lot of times it will say that you're not allowed to start the APU during refueling. Some airports have a restriction on that. And also, in some aircraft, for example, the 787, we're not allowed to test or use the HF transmitter during refueling. So apparently it could be that it's very high powered. So... Flying Wolf, on your flight back from Zanzibar last Tuesday, we had an electrical issue on the 77. After trying to reset, there were some 30 plus circuit breakers that popped and would not reset. Oh, wow, okay. Yeah. And the weird thing is, on the 787, you don't have any circuit breakers in the cockpit. Right? They are just electronic circuit breakers. So the maintenance access those through the the maintenance menus. So you have a on the big display there. You can access those maintenance pages and then actually reset those electronically from the flight deck. No, there's no release date yet, I'm afraid. Sorry. Cool. So we're going to go through our diff rips. Overhead panel looks good for now. And then fueling should be finished. Let's have a look here. Yeah. They're packing up. Which means we can call for boarding. So let's do that. Let's go in here. So AOC menu. We'll go with boarding. Request. 67 boarding now. Request. No, Brenold. No. Imagine, Brenold, doing that over a data link. Imagine some hacker getting into that data link and hacking your aircraft. I would feel, honestly, I would feel extremely, extremely uncomfortable if you could reset those from, externally. That would make me worried. All right, fuel value is checked. We'll send that off for the accountants. Are they? So Johnny, okay, I was wondering that. So they are still physical available in the E&E compartments, but you reset those electronically. That's still, to me, I mean, just from a pure engineering standpoint, I find that really fascinating. I really do. Yeah, Brenold, yeah, it's 100% sure. Yeah. No, I doubt that. Right, let's go. Departure 19, and let me go get the weather really quickly. Let's look at the METAR in here, and the flight plan says. Let's have a look here. Here's the ATIS 120 at 9. Yeah, so 15 is fine. And the flight plan says it's going to be the Targol 1 Bravo departure. Targol 1 Bravo. It's import from SimBrief. So that's a nice feature. You see that from the EFB, when you load your SimBrief flight plan and so on, it actually loads and pins the taxi chart, the airport chart, and the departure start chart as well automatically for you, which is nice. Now, obviously, it's only, it's only going to pin those that you have in your SimBrief, right? SimBrief flight plan. So if the SimBrief flight plan has a wrong departure route, it will load the wrong chart here as well, obviously. Brenold, yes. And I don't know. Maybe it's already happened. It hasn't happened to me, but who knows? Maybe it already happened. It does the ND Phoenix as well. Nice. That's just a nice touch. I like that. What did I study in university? Well, when I was so after my training, so when I got my ATPL, right there was the first Gulf War, 1992, and yeah, I didn't get a job back then, so I studied economics back then. I didn't finish it because luckily after 2.5 years, I got a call to start training again, and they offered me a job, so I was very lucky and happy with that. So the routing, Target 1 Bravo, it's an RNF departure. Let's have a look. RNF departure. It says GNSS or DME updating required. So as far as I understand, if the GNSS isn't working, then we can still fly it if we have DME updating and we have RNP1 accuracy. It's a bit weird. It's displayed a bit weird here on the Jeppesen charts. Lido is, I think, sometimes for me Lido is more, makes more sense. But It's just me. Yeah, Brunel, I can only hope that it's encrypted. And again, but again, you know, anything technical, anything that you can influence the technical state of the aircraft from outside. Ooh, no, thank you. I would not like that, honestly. Hey Nate, how are you doing? So that was the Tagol 1 Bravo departure. We'll insert that. And then for Helsinki, let me just try to get the... Is there anything ATC com? Probably not. I can't. I don't think I can. Yeah, on SimToolkit Pro, at least I could get the ATIS information. Weather ATIS. All right, let me just try that. Let's see if that works. Let's see if we get an ATIS that way. So I can hear the boarding ongoing, which is nice. Yeah, it's just METAR though, that's the problem. It's in the AOC menu if you missed it. Hang on. Did I miss it? AOC menu. Yeah, no, that's just departure ATIS. I wanted to have the ATIS for Helsinki to see what they're landing on, but I mean we can take that as well. So it's 1:30 at 9. That's exactly crosswind. It could be both. So currently we have light snow. We have about 20 minutes, 15 minutes
Ladies
extra.
and gentlemen, welcome on board. Please place your large bags into the overhead locker, wheels first, and keep your small items under the seat in front of you.
Right, I'm going to go with the flight plan then. So we're going to go with ILS 4 right. And it's supposed to be the Intor 7 Romeo approach via. Okay, that's no via there.
We would kindly ask that you keep the aisle clear, enabling all remaining customers to board.
Yeah, I do like the overlay on top better as well. It's a bit bigger, isn't it?
No smoking service. Thank you for observing this policy.
So there we go. That's the arrival, and then we're going to get radar vectors for the approach then. Okay, cool. Alrighty, so that's inserted. So init A page. Oh, and by the way, today we do have the current database, which is nice. So then we've got init A page filled out, wind is uploaded, B page, apart from the alternate fuel, which is supposed to be 1.1 ton. So 1.1. So we have about 20 minutes extra. You can use the weather ATIS. Is there a second page then? Oh, it's direct ATIS. Ah, okay. Yeah, you see. It says that there, all right? Those that can read, obviously. Yeah, I remember now. That was also in P3D version in there. So we could go Helsinki arrival. Let's send that off. Let's see if we get a response for that. Yeah, thanks, guys. Cool. Now I remember. Oh, look at that. And it works. GG's. Hobby Pilot. Thank you so much. Well done. And Sanders, hello to you. How are you? Andrew, can you customize the empty max takeaway to draw upgrade instead of the? Yes, you can. So in the config files for each aircraft, so for each livery, you can customize the the takeoff weight, the operating weight, and so on to your liking, yes. Max landing weights, etc. Yep, that is possible, yes. You can also determine if you want baggage belts or if you want container loading. It is fully customizable, yeah. I was going to have a look at the clacking of the engine, of the fan blades. Lovely. Right, I was going to have a look. So the brake wear pins, they are still pretty good. And these will wear. So over time, these pins will get shorter and shorter. So at some time we have to do some maintenance on the brake discs. But again, that's, you know, realistically many landings. And so yeah, the landing gear will get dirtier over time as well. And I asked them if the wear will be visible on the tires. They said they are thinking about it. They want to implement that as well. Work in progress, they said. Pyroblaster, I'm not going to make that call for anyone. So, you know, I'm not here to sell products. I'm here to showcase products. So, as always, you get my honest opinion. And I've said with the Phoenix, it's a very good add-on. I've always liked the Phoenix. There are some new things here in the FSLabs that the Phoenix doesn't have. There are a few things in the Phoenix that are better. You know, but all I'm doing is I'm showcasing these things, and you guys have to decide if it's worth, you know, for you to also get the FSLabs or not. No, Peter, man, what I meant was the cargo doors obviously are always there, but you can have either baggage belt loading. All right, there may be some airlines that actually don't have containers for the 321. Hey, Katie, how you doing? Big shout out to Katie Pilot, guys. I'm sure you all know Katie. If not, check out her channel on Twitch. Yeah, so for example, our A319s did not have cargo loading, container loading. They actually had just baggage belts. And I don't know if there's 321s flying around without containers, but yeah, could be. Right, we've got. Thank you much, Mark. Hello, Mark. How are you? Wie geht's dir? No, you're not, Katie. No, you're not here to learn. Come on. I've already forgotten so many things about the Airbus. Right, load sheet is here, which is nice. So the 4 left. Oh god. So it's 4 left for arrival. Really? Now that's interesting. So we have runway condition code 4. So it is actually contaminated. So we have, that's a new one. I haven't seen that before. That's going to be interesting later on for landing performance. Contaminants all parts, 100%. We have 3 millimeters wet snow. And runway is chemically treated for takeoff. And significant contaminant, thin reduced width, 50 meters snowbanks left, 25 meters right, 25 meters from centerline. So because of the wind, because of snowdrift, they do actually have some snowbanks as well. So it must have been snowing some time there. Yeah, I forgot how the autopilot works. Yeah. Right. Anyways, so wind 130 at 9, bit crosswind. This will also come in interesting as an interesting topic because of that's crosswind for us today. That's about 10 knots crosswind. I'm going to have a look at the runway condition matrix later on. Yeah, Peter, but I mean this is VATSIM, so they have a tower there. So I'm going to go with what they tell us here. Right? Maybe they changed that. Oh, I'm sorry. It's going to be that's the wrong one, Phuket. So yeah, we are doing leg 3 and 4. So we're going to Helsinki first. Yeah, MAN, I just saw that. I have to change that as well. Although I'll change it in flight, because I bet you if I change it now from 4 right to 4 left, the moment that we're airborne, they're going to change it to 2-2. So I'm going to just leave that for 4 right for now. Yeah, Katie, I remember, actually that was in Helsinki. Similar ATIS, they wrote the decreased to 40 meters. They did say something about snowbanks, but what it didn't tell you back then was where the contamination was. So ceiling was about 300 feet. And I will never forget that moment. We broke out of the clouds, and my brain literally took like 3-4 seconds to realize what was going on. So I expected the picture with runway, center line, 20 meter left, 20 meter right cleared, and then left and right snowbanks. No, that was not how the picture looked. The picture looked like this: snow, a little bit of taxi center line lights, and then 40 meters right cleared, right, all the way, including the edges. So yeah, right, and that was like, okay, so really, if I touch down center line, then one wheel will have, you know, what we calculated, and the other wheel will be in conditions that we didn't calculate. So then the question is, well, do you then on purpose offset? And in the end, we did a little bit, but obviously I didn't land on the right-hand side of the runway, right? But we did offset a little bit just to get, you know, good traction on both sides. But that was weird. That was just really weird. I complained to the tower. I like complaining. So I complained to the tower that that report on the 80s wasn't exactly optimal. So yeah, and another funny story, winter operations. I love winter operations, and Katie, and I know you do as well, right? Dresden. Now, Dresden, usually a very good airport. And we had huge delays. They had freezing rain, and then it stopped. And then on the 80s, it said, runway chemically de-iced. Braking action good, runway wet, right? Empty airport now, really? Okay, so we pushed back, and honestly, the second engine was just starting, and then the ground said to me, oh, by the way, did they tell you they only cleared 25 meter? And I said, what do you mean they only cleared, what do you mean 25 meters? It says on the 80s, runway is cleared. No, so the cleared width is 25 meters. Are you able to accept that? And we had 25 knot crosswind. I was like, no, we can't, right? So yeah, and I said, well, thank you much for the information. We're gonna taxi back to the gate now and wait until you've cleared the rest of the runway. Exactly, back to status. It cost us like, I don't know, 2 hours delay or something. I mean, wow, that was a story. GG's. It's these moments you love. Yeah, and then you make an announcement to the passengers, and you're like, yeah, they're going to believe you 100%, right? Hey, Ebersbrook, how are you? Good, so that's that load sheet. Let's do that first before I break my flow here. So let's put in zero fuel weight, 66.6, 28.7. So 66.6, and actually I could do just double click actually, can't I? Hang on, let me just check that. If I double click, it should work as well, right? It's a little workaround for you guys. So double click. Hang on, 29.1, 60.6, 29.1. Oh, that's interesting. So that's a slightly different. Well, let's take the load sheet then. 28.7. Yeah, I'd rather take that. 28.7. It doesn't really make any big difference. It's just so it adds up with the load sheet, right? 28.7 means we're going to expect somewhere around 0 trim, and although it's 26.8 for takeoff later on, and 26.8, so that's going to be about, yeah, up 0.5, 0.6 somewhere. Okay, so let's go takeoff calculations here with those values. Let's have a look. Runway condition. looks dry. But why does that show tailwind 3 times? Hang on. That's not right. Yeah, it says live weather 120 at 9. Okay, GG's. All right, we're going to ignore that. Hey, Green Dot Foxtrot, how are you? So what I'm going to do though is I am going to calculate with engine anti-ice and maybe also wing anti-ice. So both on, because few 1200, broken 2.5. It depends on whether or not we get up to acceleration altitude without clouds. So strictly speaking, you would not have to calculate with that. But we'll just put engine anti-ice. I don't think we'll get wing icing at that level yet. So yeah, let's go. Oh, that's Helsinki. Hang on, disregard. All back. All back. I'll take it all back. Let me just see here. There we go. Yeah, wait, okay, so overcast 600, definitely need the engine and wing anti-ice on. And that has a huge penalty on the performance. QNH 1015, yeah, we can leave that in, and 0 degrees is fine, dry runway, air conditioning. Let's try on first of all. Takeoff weight 73 tons, is that correct? Yeah, looks good, 73 tons, looks fine. And we're going to take full length runway 19, 2.5 kilometers available. Let's calculate that. Let's see what we get. So it's going to give us config 2. I will ride along with that. We got flex 44. Yeah, half up as mentioned, and some stop margin available. If you go aircon off, just out of curiosity, how much does that change the... That's 2 degrees. Yeah, Katie, would you do that? 2 degrees? Because we were told, yeah, we would normally go 2 degrees does save some engine life. So aircon off, but you guys have to remind me. So it's going to be an aircon off departure. We'll take the lower V1 for a bit more stop margin. So 141, 145, 146. We'll take that. Cool. So let's go in it. Performance uplink that. Yeah, 141, 145, 146, 46. Flaps 2 up 0.5, full length. That's all correct. And then we'll check one more thing here. NADP 1. Oh yeah, Katie, right. Oh, that's interesting. So the COs you do packs on. We had that memo note as well regarding the pack cycle wear. Yeah. So Neos you still do with packs off. Interesting. Yes, Airbus broker. It does mean so. It really, you could theoretically say, you know, you can run the air conditioning packs over the APU bleed. If it's hot, you would do that, but it's not hot today, so there's no need to do that today. That's a typo, guys. So the acceleration is not 9,000. That's 2,400. I'm sorry for that. We'll have to change that. I'm gonna make a screenshot real quickly to get that changed. There we go. And NADP 1 means 2150 to 3650. All right, that's all done. Hey Jeremiah, wie geht's dir? Then we're gonna go copy the active. We'll do a quick return in case anything goes wrong. So we'll do the, I think it was Yankee 19, no start, no via. And for the engine out, it's just straight ahead 194 to 25 miles. And then we are ready. 19. 194.25. Yeah, hobby pilot, and that's the thing, right? That's the thing. There's so many different companies using different procedures. Now, they will say most of the time that you know, they are using you know, Boeing ops or Airbus ops, but that doesn't mean that they're using 100% Boeing or Airbus ops. It still means they can partially do some, you know, do their own thing. Peter, exactly that. Exactly, Peter. The only bleed air that's been extracted from the engines on the 787 is for engine anti-ice. So even the wing leading edges are electrically de-iced on the 787. So I'm going to check if we get wind data here. Cool. Let me give you a quick briefing then. We're going to assume that we are going to climb. It doesn't say initial climb altitude. Transition 5,000. Initially, we're going to climb 5,000 there then. And the routing takes us... Let me just do that real quickly, because that is actually quite nice. So I can open the browser window here. I know I can also open the... With right alt, I can also open the MCView window, but that has a performance hit for me, really interesting. So let me just have a look here, do it this way. I think that's actually quite nice. So we have 19 departure, that's Victor India 201. Restriction 230 knots between 4,000 and level 70. 20275 above, correct. Then 203 is 120 above, and now we can see already it's got the orange, the amber star next to that, meaning with the calculated profile at the moment, we're going to have issues reaching 120 there. So we have to monitor that. But we'll see. It should be all right. Then we have 107 as well. Cool. Now performance, second page, that's fine. Performance, transition 5,000. Okay, cool. Sector 2,700. In case of engine failure, straight out, the acceleration is in 2,400 feet. The elevation here is 650. That does add up nicely. And yeah, then we go level off, clean up, and then we get radar vectors. 3,000 feet I'm happy with. Back runway 19. And we're currently weighing 72.9 tons, which does put us below max landing weight, which on this is 77.8 max landing weight there. So we're already below max landing weight, quick return possible without any restrictions. Normally what we do in this case, so that we can get quickly to a canned decision, if you like, regarding a quick return engine out. So normally what we would do is put in then the landing weight around about 72.5, let's say. And we would also enter the engine failure. Config 3, and let's calculate that. I mean, the engine out doesn't really add that much to the landing distance. So we need max manual factored 1,700 meters, which is plenty. So we already fulfilled our legal requirement that in case we have to do a quick return, we would have to calculate the landing performance. Now we've already done it, so we can always skip that part later on. So there we go. Now 122.8 should be set already. It is. Let's get the doors into flight. And then I'm going to read the first checklist. So special threats, I don't really see many threats apart from GPS being jammed, giving us some weird indications or GPS
Twitch channel subscriber experience.
related messages. Voyager, vielen Dank, gifting us up to Katie Pilot. That's really kind of you, Voyager. Dankeschön.
Flight entertainment will be served. Thank you.
Vielen Dank. So we have, yeah, I don't see any bigger threats apart from that. Cool, then let's read the first checklist. Gear pins covers removed, fuel quantity is 6,440 kilograms balanced, 60 kilograms, yeah, balanced. Then seatbelts on, ADIRS, nav, all three of them, baro ref should be 1016, looks good, set 3 times. Cockpit preparation checklist completed. Then let's do the before start flows.
In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened.
Make sure that's locked. That's good. Before start checklist, parking brake is set. Takeoff speed thrust. We have 141, 145, 146, flex 46. Windows doors closed, and the beacon is on as before start checklist completed. Now, what I would suggest to do here is under ATSU, AUC menu. So departure, you have the option. So we could go, it gives us facing south on taxiway Golf or facing west on taxiway Kilo. Let's have a quick look here. So we are up here. But west Kilo? No, west Kilo doesn't make sense. So south on, what's that, south on Golf? Yeah, let's try that. No risk, no fun. Let's try that. So we've armed this procedure, and then let's do that. Going to put this to interphone, and that should then start the pushback process. Oh, the weather has improved. Interesting. There's still live weather, but that's not overcast, is it? Not really.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brake set.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback. Departure 6 consistent. Bypass pin in process. Looking gear.
Vilnius traffic, windmill 711 pushing gate 47 in Vilnius. What would be the best reason to buy this plane? Well, it depends. So if you like some more options regarding your flight simulation experience, the new tech logbook is just a fantastic addition. That's something which is completely dynamic. It is persistent to your aircraft registration. so the aircraft that you have or that you're flying. So I'm doing this tour, all the flights with this airframe. And the idea is to see how it progresses technically. So you have a fault history that I can go through. For example, I can see that already we had a taxi light inop which was fixed. There's a proximity sensor fault which was fixed. And currently we are on leg number 3. Then there's also some nice effects with icing. Did you say release parking brake? Hang on. Let's see what's missing. Connection. Something's.
You need to set parking brakes to request ground services.
All right, let me just try that again. So services. Continue pushback.
Due to icing conditions,
Yeah.
please stand by for engine start until push is completed and brakes are set.
Yes, you can damage the aircraft. I will demonstrate that at some point. Hard landing, yeah. If you use too much reverse when you're taxiing, when you got taxi speed, you can actually damage the engines a little bit. So, yeah, lots of stuff. Right, what's happening with GSX, please? GSX, stop memeing me, please. All right. Maybe it does want. Maybe it's a bit confused regarding the position to push on. So that means let me just do that for you then, my dear GSX. So that's actually what I wanted you to do.
Exiting from editing.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for
There we
engine
go.
start until push is completed and brakes are set. Commencing push.
Thank you.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push is completed and brakes are set.
I love the fan blade clacking sound. Cool. Alrighty. Well, it's not icing conditions, so let's make sure we have APU bleed available. Fuel pumps are on. Checking the pressure. 2025. Starting engine 2. The chocks should be removed automatically, Ebold. Hey Jacob, how are you doing? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Yes, Peter Man. So if you just brake too hard all the time, overheat the brakes, it does have an effect. Yes, it does increase the wear.
Reset parking brakes.
Brake is set.
Unlocking gear.
Starting engine 1.
Vilnius traffic, Finnair 11.
Hey, there's MAN.
6 lining up departing runway 19.
Is there an option to disable wear and tear? Well, I would imagine if you go to failures, service-based, if you go to, well, that's none is actually, yeah, so if you put that to none, I would assume, maybe one of the devs can confirm, then I would assume that you switch off that. Leviathan, moin, kurze Frage, was reingeschmissen, was empfiehlst du fürs MCC? Ich würde gerne öfter, alle 20 Mal, aber jeder meint 7 oder 7, weil... Boah, that's a good question. To be honest, I don't know. I mean, the MCC, so multi-crew concept, I would in part agree that the 737 will get you more active or being more active in MCC. But I don't know. Does it really help you? I mean, it's going to be a lot more work. So all clear was given. I mean, if you're confident in your abilities, right, then I would say, yeah, do it on the 737. I mean, why not? Can you test flaps 3 landing? I can, Basher, yes. Remind me if I forget, Basher. Good, so trim is the last thing with the set, half, there we go. And then let's read the after start checklist. Anti-ice off currently. Then we have ecom status checked. Pitch trim up 0.5 and rudder trim neutral after start checklist completed. Vilnius traffic. Windmill 711 taxiing to runway 19 in Vilnius. Ted, sorry, yeah, Ted, I didn't update the Nightbot. So we're flying Vilnius to Helsinki, and the second flight is going to be Helsinki-Gothenburg. If you do want to join. Thank you, Voyager. Dankeschön. So MAN has departed. MAN, have a good flight. Cabin is ready, so... That's good. Let's get the radar and predictor windshield system on. I'm already going to take the TCAS on to see if there's any traffic on final. Do the config test, and then we are ready for a taxi checklist. So we've got flight controls checked, flap setting, we have config 2, radar and predictor windshield system is on and auto, engine mode selector, and just go around the corner here. Yes, on VATSIM, yeah, Ted, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I can't really answer the question for you. You've got to make your choice. I would agree, though, yes, on the A320, it is a bit easier. Right, ignition is normal, and then we've got the ECA takeoff no blue. And that is the taxi checklist completed. TCAS looks good. Approach sector is clear. Let's get the right chart open here. Actually, let's do this. Okay, so remember Victor India 203, flight 120 above. Make sure we have that terrain on nav display. Vilnius traffic, windmill 711, lining up departing 19 in Vilnius. Right, remember packs off. And then after climb power, I'm gonna put packs back on again. TCAS is on. Lineup checklist, takeoff runways, 19, full length, TCAS, TARA, and the PAC 1 and 2 off. Check one more time, approach sector is clear. Hey, Edgy. Yes, they are. So Edgy, I can show you during the flight all the failures. So they commented they have 300 failures now. And there's definitely flaps and slats failures there as well. I can show you that later if you like. Cool, let's just do that, run, and then we are ready, are we? I think so. Let's go, take off. Yeah, Manflex 46 SAS runway, all the thrust blue. The engine sounds are clearly audible. No complaints. Here's 100 knots checked. Thrust was set. V1, rotate. Careful not to make a tail strike. There we go. Pause rate, gear up. Enough. Also, what I like, the sound transitions very nicely between the sounds of the cockpit and then when you transfer outside. So NADP 1 means thrust climb, but we have SRS climb blue. Make the displays a bit brighter here. Ah, yes, please. Breaking out of the clouds. I love that. Ah, yeah. Oh, it's just always so beautiful. Whoop! Whoopah! Yeah. Oh, we said 5,000, didn't we? 5,000 feet. So we have 1,500 to go. Right, well, let's do pack 1. Oh, I remembered. Wait a few seconds. Pack 2. So now we have climb alt blue. Reset the chrono. Climb power is set. Flaps 1. Speed's checked. Flaps 1. Sniper full. I mean, they are working on cockpit texture still. Yes. 1,000 ago. So yeah, they are working on it. And one thing you also have to realize is that I'll start that the compression of the stream also degrades the textures, the texture quality. Flaps 0, speed check flap 0. The thing is that I can only stream at 5,000 kilobits per second, and recommended at 60 FPS would be 8, I think. So there's some compression going on, which does degrade the visual experience. So, autopilot. Hey, Faju. Nice, yeah. We're heading to Finland right now. Right, let's continue climb. We need to climb because we need to get up to and meet that restriction. All right, let's reset these spoilers, and that will go off as well. Hey, Krishu. Yeah, Peter, thank you much for the reminder. Yeah, that did clear up nicely. Alright, standard. Cross-checked. So 7.5 above is no problem, and I would assume now that 120... All I'm going to do now, though, is I'm just going to keep that at 250 knots. So selected speed 250, so that we don't accelerate passing 10,000 feet. And then I'm optimistic we will make that restriction. Yeah, there is a general notion that the IAE engines are a bit more powerful, but to be honest, I don't think that's true in all cases regarding IAE, and the 321 should start taxiing without any additional thrust. I think that largely depends on two factors. One is the weight, and the other factor is you know, the slope of the taxiway. So hey, MT Olive, 5 years plane spotted exterior looks oddly off. Really? So maybe you could point out what you think looks off, because that may help the developers. Because I honestly, I'm not, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, it's my memory, or I honestly don't know what part looks off. Remember that also things could be with regards to zoom factor. I mean, there's just always so many. Yeah, the FSLabs has a forum, yes. Yeah, just Google that. But yeah, but if you let me know as well which part you think isn't quite right, then I can also forward that. I have a good connection to them. No, it's fine. And I always think that it's really important for feedback. So, oh no! What happened now? What did I do? Whoop! Oh, the autopilot disengaged again. Why did it? Huh? Oh, you know what? There must be a button on my controller that disconnects the autopilot. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, that's annoying. Hang on. Oh, it's this one, actually. Okay. I need to set that. Sorry, that's my bad. That's not FSLabs' fault. That's my fault. All right, nav. Back on managed climb. Glad it's no bug, yeah. The thing is, I can't go into the menu now to change that. Or can I? I mean, there's no traffic behind me. Real quickly, let me just go control options, controller profile, search input, this one here. Yeah, there we go. That should be off. Clear. Cockpit interaction. I don't know. Let's try that. So, yeah, that fixed it. Fantastic. Okay. Whew. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we were on the outside. That's why. We didn't hear the autopilot. Right, so I was going to go with RatNav, that's clear. Then fix info page, clear that. Secondary, copy active. And then landing lights and seatbelts. And then we're good to go. Fantastic. Right. Jan, you're interesting. Jan, I think you're the third person right now that's commenting and saying the cockpit textures look better. It could be that my upload rate is just a bit more stable, better today than on the last stream, where I was actually on the other hard drive, which is having issues. So that could be simply it. But also, I know they're still working on the cockpit textures. They are. So, you know, again, it says on the bottom there as well, right? It says work in progress. This is not the final product, okay? I am, Peter. Yes, I am. Yeah. But I have a feeling it is more related to some issue with DirectX or something. Megas, there is hope. Megas, there is hope. The company that is responsible for putting in fiber around our towns here or villages is just had an information evening. I couldn't attend though, but they are definitely still working now on getting our region connected to fiber. So keeping fingers crossed with the next 12 to 24 months, we may get fiber, and then I can stream a lot better quality. Yeah, Peter, that's just the problem, especially in Germany. It's always you know, if you're outside of the big cities. Yeah, so Megas, the thing is though, I'm using Restream, right? Because I'm streaming on YouTube and on Twitch and looking at the viewer numbers. We've got about 200 here on Twitch, another 130 almost at on YouTube. So, you know, I can't just simply stop on the YouTube platform, right? Because there's a lot of supporters there as well. Yeah, so as long as Restream doesn't support that, yeah, we'll see. But I mean, anyhow, you know, there's a good chance that the quality will improve. But I hope it's all right as it is. I know it's not the best visual quality regarding the streaming, but I hope it's good enough. Thank you much, Phuket. Yeah, you confirmed that. Thank you much, Phuket. TV Revenger, I would gladly do that. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Oh really? Oh, Twitch doesn't support it yet. Oh, I thought YouTube doesn't support it. Yeah, Megas, I agree. But maybe some other streamer like Katie Pilot or, you know, Johnny, so Flyboy, Aviation. So maybe they stream with AV1, so higher quality, and maybe people can have a look there regarding the textures. No words on Twitch, okay. I wonder, so Megas, I wonder though, Megas, when I record for YouTube, so let's say I want to do a tutorial video for YouTube, does that make a difference? Is there also a quality difference in that regard? Or is it just streaming? Absolutely. Okay, Megas, man, you're the expert. I have to get in contact with you again. Do I have to change the title for the other stream, Peter? Yes, I do. You know, those streams I do want to separate for each flight. Although it'll only be like 2 minutes, pause.
Full advantage of your tax-free allowances today and make some amazing savings with our boutique.
Oh, Megas, vielen Dank.
Flight brochure, you'll find details of our award-winning selection.
You're a legend. Thank you very much, Megas.
Massive discounts.
And Exponent, hello to you. And Data Love, hello.
If you'd like to see any products, have Any questions? Or would like to make great
Did
savings
I
on
feel
future
any
trips?
FPS improvements in the Phoenix compared 2020 to 24? Not really, no. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm using frame generation. So I'm using, for anti-aliasing, I'm using TAA mode. So I'm not using DLSS for the visuals. I'm using TAA. But I am using frame generation for my monitor, right? And that gives me, on my monitor, always 60 FPS. And really smooth. So I can't really... If I look at the in-game, that's the second problem. So if I look at the in-game FPS counter, it will always say 30 because I'm using half VSync. And for some reason, it's just taking 30 in-game, which I don't know why it's doing that, but because I have a 120 hertz monitor. But yeah, so I don't really notice any differences regarding FPS. I would have to do a comparison without frame generation, and maybe under DX11 even, and not using DX12. Cool. So 320 is what we're going to fly, and then let's quickly have a look. So we're going to fly for another 50 minutes, but nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and fetch the weather already, because they may have changed the... here's another question that would be for the developers. For some reason, I'm not really getting the uplinks regarding parking position. So I wonder if can I put the parking position in here, or do I have to pre-select that somewhere? So I just saw that on the ATSU menu, I can, or AFC menu, there's a stand gate. Does that uplink all the time, or can I enter that myself? I mean, it doesn't really matter because today we're on VATSIM, so the controller will give us although let me just check if we still have the tower. Yeah, tower should be online in Helsinki. It looks like. So in general, I could ask the tower then if I can have a certain parking stand, correct? So let's say if I say, so he gives me some parking stand, then I could ask, you know, can we have, I don't know, can we have 30 or something? So let's try 30. There was a stand. Yeah, so I have a so it's MK Studios scenery, I think, for Helsinki. And I downloaded the GSX file from flightsim.to. Isn't that when you need to fill in the landing details when you get the gate as well? Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it uploads, right? So there's a company message now. Let's have a look what it says. ATSU AOC menu. No, that's just still the ATIS, but I can call the ATIS here. So that's the latest ATIS. It still has, that's from 1630 UTC. That's pretty old though. Oh, that's a runway report. This we got. So the ATIS from 1820. That is fairly new. 4 left, still in use. And condition code 4, we'll go through that in a minute. Mac out star. I'm going to put TCAS below. Right, so that's set. Hey, Mark. If I buy the Thrustmaster Airbus joystick, can I also fly? Of course you can, Mark, yes. I did at the beginning. When I started streaming, I only had a joystick. I had, I think, just a Warthog Thrustmaster joystick. And I flew everything. I flew GA aircraft, Boeing, Airbus, everything. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's already available during the flight, because normally on the departure page, if I remember correctly, it did say, so on the ground departure, it said, didn't it say de-icing or something there? But if you want, Max Crosswind, we can pull up the airport chart, and then so normally, so the de-icing pads are. Let's do this. So just do that, and then do that. So the de-icing pads are here. So normally, that's for runway 22 right. That is. Now, if you're departing on 4, so that you would depart at 4 right, then you would have your de-icing area down here, correct? Yeah, Magus, dankeschön. Not a game. I'm not sure if the standard, so the problem is, Mark, I don't know exactly what aircraft is available for each of these editions. You would have to look into what comes with the editions. Okay, so I am correct. Okay, so that's apron 8. That is for de-icing when you are using the 404 runway. And for the runway 22, so 22 right, you would taxi up either via Golf or via Delta onto the de-icing pad facing north. And I don't know how many de-icing positions you have here, 4 or 6. Let me see, parking stands. Let me look if you can have some de-icing visual guidance. Now, so in the real world, you actually have so-called de-icing visual guidance systems, which is very cool, obviously. So, you know, it will blink at you and say call and brake set. Right, so when taxiing to the de-icing bay, the pilot will be instructed to contact after park brake set. So then stop when the icing is in progress to make sure that you don't start taxiing off with vehicles still being in the way. And then de-icing complete. So hold position at the icing bay until the traffic lights have been turned to green and message de-icing complete is shown. And then ATC will give you permission to taxi to the maneuver area. Very cool. Mr. Guys, I have the MK Studios. No way. Yeah, I have no idea on the release date. And I know that FSLabs, they always make sure they try to get the aircraft, you know, into a very, very good state before they release, with as little bugs as possible, if they can, without any bugs. That would be the absolute optimum. But yeah, they'd rather delay the release a couple more days, just to make sure that all the bugs, all the fix, you know, everything's fixed. Yeah, the 330. So, Mark, there's a 330 being developed. Is it Inibuilt or fly-by-wire? I can't remember all these developers. Who's making what? Yeah, Phuket, right. So 5 parking spots on apron 6. So 5 up north and oh, hey, look at that. You actually have, yeah, sure. We actually have the chart here. So that's some northern de-icing pad. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correct? Looks like 2 wide bodies, 3 small or normal medium bodies. And on the other side down here, let's see, is that de-icing apron? No. So it doesn't come completely de-icing. Yeah, anyways, we will see. Is that it? Hang on, bottom left. Hang on, 315. No, that's not it, is it? Oh, these. Ah, okay. So, okay, get it. Okay, there we go. So these are the de-icing positions. Okay. So 811 to 816s. Same thing. Wide body, narrow body. Yeah. Cool. So, Sakurahana, I don't make these calls. I don't tell anyone, I don't suggest anything regarding, you know, if you should get certain add-ons or not. I mean, that's up for you guys to decide, right? I can only showcase. I will give you my honest answer for all the products that I showcase. And then again, you know, you have to make the call. I'm not going to make that for you. I don't know what your preferences are. Now, look, do we fly the entire NAPSA 1 Bravo star coming from the southeast? Normally, not really, no, Nanook. Very often you get shortcuts, depending on traffic. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Guys, you also live very close to Helsinki. Fantastic. Yes, I've been here many, many times. Usually we're parked down here. So yeah, I'm used to taxing, you know, Alpha or Alpha Delta, Zulu Delta cross. And then taxi Delta. Yeah, for de-icing Delta Charlie, otherwise it would be Delta, Whiskey Delta for the runway. Do I like fast cars? Well, I mean, I like the looks of fast cars. Not all of them, but there are some very nice looking fast cars. Green Dot Foxtrot, sorry, I have to change that. Give me a second. So I do have, you know, I do like that. However, I don't own a fast car. I don't own an expensive car. I drive a Ford Focus. And I don't know what it is. I honestly, if I look at the prices of these you know, fast cars, my fascination for them just isn't great enough to justify those price tags. And that's just me, right? Just me, because I just don't get that much of a kick out of it. I understand anyone that really does get a kick out of it. Good for you. I just don't. And I don't judge. That's no judging in any form, right? It's just a fact for me. Yeah, so I've never spent more than, I think, the most money I spent for a new car was 15,000 euros. So 15,000 euros. That's, and I've always had good cars, reliable cars, safe cars, so yeah. So now that command should be correct, what we're doing today. So this is what we're doing today. There we go. I have a bike, a normal bike, not an e-bike. I have a normal bike. I do ride a lot. So it's not a racing bike either. It's just a trekking bike. So it's also good for some tours, right? I'm trying to reduce the CO2. Well, I wish. I mean, you know, or the is it green shaming? What's called? I mean, you know, if you're an airline pilot, I don't know. You can't really say, "Hey, Geep, vlog biking streams." No, Peter, we're gonna do cooking streams. But I mean, biking streams, you would just hear me, you know, cough and breathe all the time. No, I did not. What did I do wrong now? What's wrong with Tour de... whatever. What did I do wrong now? Hey, Geep. No, so Geep, I'm just using the Warthog thrustmaster base, and this is the FS Project's A320 Captain side stick on top of that. It mounts perfectly on the Warthog thrustmaster Warthog base, but I have no.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box Twitch channel subscriber
Oh,
experience.
okay,
Could
now
new
I get it.
subscribers
On the
please make your way to the
night bot.
first class
Oh, okay,
cabin,
okay.
where complimentary drinks, snacks, and premium
you guys
flight
are-
entertainment will be served. Thank you.
You're like proper accurate. Oh,
Time
geez.
flies, Captain. Have a
Everything's
great
happening.
winter
Hang on,
time
hang
and
on.
thanks for still being around. Smile.
That's really kind. Marcus, thank you so much for your support, and I could just return those beautiful words, Marcus. So thank you so much for being here, Marcus. Thanks for all the help, especially all the technical advice you've been giving me. So a big thank you for that as well. And of course, for all your moderation, Marcus. Thank you so much. Can't thank you enough for that. So let's try that again today. And then I have to call VATSIM. Christ, everything's happening at the same time. 134325. 34. Before I get walloped here. 34325. Is it good now? Tour de Europe. Are you guys happy now? Blimey. Talent Control, good evening from Windmill 711, flight level 320.
Windmill 711, Talent Control, good evening, squawk 2460.
Oh, 2460 is coming down, Windmill 711. That's it. Oh, huh? 2460. Okay.
Windmill 711, radar contact, report Mach number.
Thank you. We're currently maintaining Mach 0.75, Windmill 711.
Windmill 711, clear director inter, fast sequencing, maintain Mach decimal 79.
Director inter and Mach 0.79 is copied to Windmill 711. All right, so let's do that first, 79. Oh, now I have another button bound for some reason. Push to talk. And it resets my view. But I can't get into the menu now because we're under control. You're bureaucrats. Yeah, I can tell. I mean, you know. Oh. So direct. Inter, there it is. So a beam point, so we'll do a fuel check in a minute. Today I did calculate the flight plan with minus 0.3% again, so minus 3%. So let's have a look. We are getting close to Dolat. Dolat. Do we have Dolat for fuel check? No. Yes, we do. 32 minutes after departure. We departed at 35? Yep, 35. So 10:35 we departed, meaning we should be here at 07. So 11:07. So a little bit behind. And the fuel we're supposed to have 2.9 plus the extra, which is 800. So 3.7 tons of fuel.
Sinar 1106,
So that could add up nicely with the fuel. Just a bit late.
We're ready descending flight level 120, Sinar 110.
Neo when? I don't know. They haven't mentioned anything regarding their timeline regarding the Neo, but it is being developed. So that has been confirmed. Yes. Late again. Yeah. I just wonder who I can blame that on. Why we're late. Okay, we were going to talk about the landing performance, guys. So looking at the latest ATIS, okay.
Tallinn radar, good evening, Ryanair 9857, maintaining level 370, direct Romeo India Alpha.
Ryanair 9857, Tallinn control, good evening.
So just dialing down the sound just a tad. Make sure 80 isn't too loud.
Direct Inter 9857.
Yes, that. So we have runway condition code 4. Right, so what does that?
Windmill 711, cleared Inter 8 Bravo, arrival runway 04 left.
Intor 8 Bravo arrival, runway 04 left, windmill 711. Thank you. Okay, so I have to change that. So we have runway 4 left, unfortunately. Intor 8 Bravo, however. And then we're going to execute that. We'll check those waypoints in a second. So you see the ATIS tells us that the runway condition code has been downgraded to 4. So it was 5 previously, but since it was still snowing, it now degraded to 4. And they have 100% 3mm wet snow. The runway is chemically treated. And then takeoff significant contaminant thin reduced. So thin contaminant reduced width 50 meters. Snowbanks left. So we're going to go into our landing calculator here. And we're going to select Helsinki first of all. Normally it does that automatically, but I calculate our quick return performance, so that's why it reverted to Vilnius. So we have the wind, temperature, Q and H. Is that all correct? Let's check that. So 10190 and 120 at 5, correct. Okay, so landing weight. Now this is a cool thing. So it takes the current weight and subtracts the estimated fuel burn until touchdown. So it's estimating 600 kilograms fuel burn. So it's an estimated 3.4 tons on touchdown. 4 kilogram currently, 600 kilogram difference. Yeah, 70 tons looks very good. So that does that automatically for you, which is good. I'm going to take 4 left. And so config 3 was wished by one of the viewers. Now I am going to put engine and wing anti-ice, air conditioning on. And now we go and click on the condition code, and we can now go to assessment 4. And that gives us also a max crosswind limit. Yes, there is wind flex, Stian. So braking action is good to medium. So code 4, compacted snow, temperature at or below -15. Well, I wouldn't really go after that. So normally, just with the report of the contaminants, that would have been good enough for 5, right, up to 3mm. However, because I would imagine, because by pilot reports, they downgraded that to 4. And so now we have a crosswind limit of 29 knots. And we are, for the landing distance calculation, going to use good to medium RChem 4. Normal landing. And then we calculate that. So max allowable landing weight is 77.8. Right, that's the structural landing weight. We have very nice climb and go around gradients. So there's no issue with a 2.5% limit or anything. So that's all good. And with these conditions, we require autobrake low factored, so 15% on top of the in-flight. So that's 2,900 meters. We have 3,060 available. Now that would not give us much margin, would it? So the legal margin would only be like 200 meters. Autobrake low. So I would prefer to go with medium initially and then see how it breaks. We don't have many exits available today, so we can only exit 4 left. It says, yeah, Whiskey Hotel there. So let me show you where that is. So if we land 4 left, now Whiskey Kilo is too short, can't reach that, so we have to then vacate right at the end. So the idea is then to go autobrake medium. If I can feel that the braking deceleration, so deceleration of the aircraft is good, I'll take out the brakes and then brake manually, so that we don't taxi too slowly on the runway until we vacate. But initially, we do have to take medium today. I think that's a good idea. Usually as well, guys, so usually it's a bad combination to go config 3 and autobrake medium. All right. So normally I wouldn't do that, but somebody asked me to do a config 3 landing to see how it feels, and I think we'll do that. Normally that's a bad combo. All right. So normally if you have config 3, it assumes you have enough landing distance available. enough margin available so that that you can go with orbit low. Good, and let's enter the data real quickly. And I'm just going to update the weather real quickly. Arrive at ATIS. I'm going to pre-dial the tower 18.6. And then received messages. So information uniform, that's a new ATIS 1920. That's the latest one. And we have 4 left. Ah, okay, so okay, they changed that back to 5 again. So we have code 5, 100%, and oops, and 3 millimeters wet snow. Right, so we can go with that. That's fine. So we'll recalculate in a minute, and maybe we can take orbit low as well. So we have 120 at 5. Temperature is 0. Kinich 1019. And then we'll take the minimum as well from that. Here we're going to go select that again. Now we're going to go to good. Config 3, calculate again. Yeah, so now I'm happy with orbit low because that's 2,700, 300 meters margin, that's fine. Yeah, so we'll take low. Windmill 711 ready for descent.
Windmill 711 descent to flight level 120 on conversion speed 270 knots or greater for sequencing.
Okay, descent level 120 and speed upon conversion 270 or greater, windmill 711. So what I can do now, since we are in descent, I actually can change those values. So I can go 0.79 and let's do, I don't know, 290. Interesting. I think that should be possible. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't flown Airbus for a while, but normally that should be able to be put in there. I'll put that forward. Anyhow, so the minimum bar row for the ILS. Hey, nice, Nanook. GG's.
Postman 3612 descent to flight level 120 on conversion reduced speed 250
so we're
knots.
going to do approach 4 left ILS localizer.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box Twitch
Hey,
channel
Flying
subscriber
Walnuts. Thank you so much for the second one.
Could new subscribers please make your way to the first class cabin? Where
Really?
complimentary drinks,
Okay, so Flying
snacks, and
Walnut, we're going to
premium
fly
flight entertainment will be served.
to Gothenburg
Thank you.
on the next flight now. So we will be...
Currently en route across Sweden back to EGSS. Gusting 35.
Thank you much, Flying Walnut, for the heads up on that. So we are flying after we've landed, finished preparation. We're going to fly to Gothenburg, yeah. Do you ever use flaps 3? Yeah, a lot of times, hobby pilot. A lot of times we use flaps 3. Yeah, normally rapid fin, exactly. So normally green means you can't change it. However, I am pretty sure, now it could be because that has still a different software standard, but normally for descent you can manually enter some values. Oh, sorry, I misread. Oh, okay, so Stansted, not, oh, okay. Ah, because that's Echo Golf Sierra, yeah, Echo Golf. No, Echo Sierra Golf Golf, that's it. Yeah, my bad. Stansted, you have a good landing. I was getting excited. I was thinking, God, yeah, fantastic. Gusty winds. Right, 4 left, 340 feet minimum bar rows, so 340. config 3, and whenever I put config 3 down here, I'll reach over on the overhead panel and select landing flat 3 here as well.
Finnair 1106, Helsinki radar is closing shortly, frequency change approved. Have a good evening, choose.
Oh no, Helsinki approach is closing.
Finnair 1106, frequency change approved. Thank you for the service. Bye.
Oh, that's a shame. Right, so for the arrival, that's not the one we want. We want the Intor 8 something. Intor. No, that's not it. There it is.
Ryanair 985.
So that's the one we want. So we come via Intor 120 above, then max 250 at Balti.
040, Ryanair 9857.
Let me just dial that up again here. So let's try that again here. So we have Balti 250 knots, correct, and Intor. Oh, that should be 120 above. Not sure why that.
Stalin control Ryanair 2606.
There we go. Intor 120 above.
Flight level 100.
And then
Ryanair 2606, Stalin control, top direction
250 knots. Balti 953, 938, 933 Lohik, 220 knots.
Ryanair 985,
yeah, plus 2,000 is correct.
flight level 120.
Then we're going to fly the radar vector. Let's
Let's
approach. Sector is 2,300, remember? Not 2,200. 2,300. And then radar vectors out of 2,300. And the elevation is 134. So that's already pretty close to the ground, 2,000 feet. MPEF, descent, 3-degree profile, minimum cut 1, 340, missed approach, straight ahead, 580 feet, left turn immediately, 355, and climb 2,000. So also very low go around altitude there. Just check that it's coded 580, 355, 2,000. Cool. All right. Everything's set in that regard, so we can fly that with nav mode. Beautiful. Now Tallinn should be somewhere close by, right? Yeah, to the left there. There's Tallinn, 15, 16 miles or something. Yeah, so that's the lake. It should be somewhere here. That's where the airport should be. Yeah, Mega's right. Oh, if that startup delay with the flight simulator hadn't happened, yeah, I would have been on the ground by now. Do people still, guys, do you still have, or anybody have issues loading into Microsoft 2020? Because it took me and others like 20, 25 minutes. So they had server issues again. But this time on Microsoft 2020. Hey Ted, hello. Did not try the meantime. Yeah, maybe someone has. Would be interesting to hear.
Resume on navigation, clear direct to Intor.
On navigation, direct Intor 9857.
Really? TV, you have not touched 2020 after you've installed 2024? Now we are seeing some more aircraft being released for 2024. I think it was a Just Flight Jumbolino. That was updated, and we have some scenery now officially being supported, right? iOS got something, had the issue as well the other night. Yeah, I think someone said last weekend it also happened, right? There's the runway. That's Tallinn. So you can see how close by Helsinki really is. Yes, Airbus Broker, I am planning to fly the PMDG 777F tomorrow on stream. I did get gifted a free copy by PMDG, so as a thank you, I'm going to stream it tomorrow. And but that will also be here on Max 2020, obviously, not in 2024.
711, Helsinki radar is offline, frequency change approved. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you, changing Unicom, and have a nice evening as well. Thank you much. Bye-bye. Windmill 711.
And also Windmill 711, no speed restrictions. Thank you.
That is copied. Thank you much, Windmill 711. So, Unicom. Now, is the tower also offline? I hope the tower remains online. Yeah, that's what I heard as well, right? Career mode has some funny bugs as well. Yeah. Thank you much for the likes, guys. Yeah, on YouTube, yeah, smash up that like button if you enjoy the stream. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, exactly. So they have some ATR operations on that routing, Tallinn to Helsinki. Yeah, very short flight time. Let me have a look. Do we have that on below already? Yeah, TCAS is on below. So that's there. Captain Sam, I can show them when we've parked the aircraft. Yeah, it's a good idea, Captain Sam. I've not had a listen to the brake fans yet. Yes, okay, I'm sorry. I know it's cruel, isn't it? So, apologies. I honestly hope that you guys have the option to buy it soon. But yeah, they have not announced anything yet. Well, right now, Flight Predict, I'm using what's called a frame generation. So, I'm using 60 FPS with VSync, and that does translate quite nicely also to the stream. Yeah. So, unfortunately, you do need a certain graphics card to be able to use frame generation, and those cards are, as always, very expensive, unfortunately. Yeah, well, I mean, that's just... The weird thing is, there's nothing easy, right, in flight simming. And probably in other games as well. But, I mean, you know, flight simming... Anything above like 40 FPS, you're always amazed, right? So the idea with frame generation is very good. Now, DLSS can be a nightmare. It can cause blurriness in the displays or the picture. It can cause VRAM issues. So it's not optimal, is it? So we have 120, 30 miles away. I am pre-dialing 2,300, but I am also, let me just have a look here. I could put 120 in here as a new cruise level maybe. Yeah. And then it will tell me. Yeah, so now that I've put in the cruise level 120, so our current level, now it recalculates the optimum path again. So now we're supposed to descend at Balti. And I will do that with managed speed, so no more speed restriction. So I'm going to do this with managed descent, so thrust idle, out blue. And it will be 2.3, but 2,300 in a minute. And you upgraded to a 4070 Ti Super. How many gigabyte? Because the 16 gigabyte you can fill up fast with frame generation and those. So yeah, 16, right? So that can fill up really fast. I guess you're asking when I'm retiring? Next year, October. So end of October next year. That's when I'm retiring. So let's have a look. Would you say system-wise? There are a few things here now that are another step forward regarding realism, right? So tech logbook. There's also some effects, you know, vapor trails, icing. So visual icing, you know, you can actually use that icing indicator here. It does show you if you're accumulating ice on the airframe. It has an effect on engines, so performance of the engines. It has an effect on the overall performance if you have ice on the leading edges. It has a wear and tear system now, meaning it's a persistent state, right? It records landings for you. You will get some smaller issues if you like. You can deactivate that if you like as well, but yeah, it has some nice new things in it. But I'm not going to make the call if it's worth, you know, for you or not. That's not me to say. Yes, Airbus broker. I can only quote now. You know, for me, there's a fixed aircraft EFB, but we also have a pilot EFB, so that we can prepare for the flights. So it's pretty much an exact copy of the aircraft EFB. So that way I can prepare. You know, I've got all the charts there. I have my documents on there. You know, FCOM and so on. Hey, nice, Adrian. Welcome. You're looking forward to the Neo, and you're doing your currently ATPL. Nice. All the best wishes, Adrian. I know it's a horrible, horrible phase with regards to all of these, you know, the huge amounts of things you have to learn. So I do feel for you. Right, here we go. Helsinki below us there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray tables must be
Look at the
stowed.
clouds. Now, again, Microsoft, so even 2020 has such beautiful clouds.
Ready for landing. Please help us.
They've done such a good job on that.
Newspapers or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets
Really
are
lovely.
no longer in service.
Hey, Lilo. And Samurai, hello to you. How are you? Now, I think someone is on the ground. Tower, so according to my information, the tower is still online. Let me just pre-dial that, so I can hear if anybody's on final. There we go. Cool, so we've done the briefing, although taxi briefing I have not done yet, but pretty straightforward. So after landing, vacate via Whiskey Hotel, and then probably via Golf, crossing at Papa Golf, Zulu Golf to the apron. So that's a hot spot for us for the crossing. Apart from that, nothing else major. So let's do ILS. Where's my ILS chart? 4 left. I did pin that, didn't I? 4 right, 4 right. I thought I had.
Scenario 7 X-ray Hotel 1
Yeah, he's
airborne,
online.
monitor advisory frequency 122.9, wind is 1.
I know it would be darkness in real life.
Runway 04 right, clear for takeoff. Got that?
I know.
For takeoff, runway 04 right, and whatever.
So let's quickly have a look at the
7 X-ray Hotel.
last QNH.
Kiitoksia, kiitoksia. Moro.
So 1019. Is set. Gonna read the checklist in a second. I'm just gonna enjoy the view here. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Beautiful, as Mark would say. So checklist. Approach checklist. Bar ref 1019 set 3 times. Seatbelts on. We have minimum bar of 340 feet. Auto brake low. Engine mode selector is normal, but we're going to have to put the engine anti-ice on, of course. And then watch the... Oh, and look at this. So this is what I was talking about. So we have a visual cue now. You see, there is ice on the icing pin indicated there. So that's always a good information that we want to have wing anti-ice on as well. Because you can assume that if we have ice on here, you will have ice also on the leading edges of the aircraft. So Super Gromby, the last test I've done a couple of days ago, it was pretty much identical, Phoenix to the FSLabs. All right, let's go heading. And I'm going to put direct to MPEF. So that's going to be 217.
Gate
opposite. Insert.
Via Papa Delta, clear to cross 04 right, gate 23, Finnair.
So there's no one on final. I'm going to turn the ILS identified. Let's do flaps 1. Speed is checked, flaps 1. And then we'll do a wing view here. There we are. Yeah, you heard the flap motor there. Continuing right turn at star 2300. Slowing down. Gonna arm the approach mode here. So we have glide slope blue, lock blue, cat 3 dual, autopilot 1+2. And they have an impression, very good impression there regarding how low we are already to the ground. And the airport, yeah, is over here somewhere. Cool, excellent. Alrighty. Get some background lighting on, slowly getting darker. Yeah, Hotel Tango Victor is correct. Now let's have a look. Do we still have icing? Yeah, still have some icing on here. Now this will not disappear. That's the problem with this icing indicator, right? So it could well be that we don't have any additional icing or ice accretion. So when you're out of clouds, so you expect no more icing, I would switch the wing anti-ice off again, because it does cost a lot of performance. Lock star. But again, if in doubt, leave it on. Here comes flaps 2. Speed check, flaps 2. 4 left. And we are now at 11 miles. Avanta Tower, good evening from Windmill 711 is 10 miles out on the ILS, 4 left.
Windmill 711, Helsinki Tower, good evening, wind is 130 degrees 4 knots, runway 04 left, clear to land.
Thank you much, runway 04 left, clear to land, Windmill 711. Man, it sounds a lot like Nikotiv, but I think I don't think he's controlling anymore. I think he's too busy working IRL. So I'm just going to have 160 knots here. Approach phase is active. Nice, Ted. Yeah. Okay, so don't worry. We'll be here for you, Ted. What's your favorite airport to fly into? And what's the one you're not a fan of flying? Well, the ones that I don't have a single favorite airport. I have many lovely airports I enjoyed flying to, especially on the short range. Now, an airport I don't like is Paris, for example. Sorry for all those. Paris Charles de Gaulle is a nightmare of an airport. Not only for the taxi times, but also the taxiway definitions, and the approaches are so boring. Apart from seeing the Eiffel Tower and a beautiful city, But we're talking about the airport, so there's nothing there really to enjoy. So, glide slope star and 2000 missed approach altitude is set. Landing checklist, economy landing no blue. Clear to land. Let's do some hand flying, shall we? Manual thrust, manual flying. Tok, cut 1. Checked. So we have a bit of tailwind actually. Didn't expect that. So cross tail out, but that should change to crosswind. And windmill 711. Could we have a wind check again, please?
Windmill 711, wind is 030 degrees, 4 knots.
Thank you much. So the wind is going to die down a bit, so nothing to worry. If you're wondering, I did use Rex Accu Seasons, and it does look nice and wintry now, doesn't it? Love that. It looks cold.
1000.
1000, let's check. Clear the land. There's the wind change. Seven knots.
500. 400. 300, 100 above. 200, minimum.
Continue.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard 10. 5.
I love how it settles down. Look at that. Beautiful. Ah, yes. So, come on, give me reversers. Yes, spoilers. Reverser green decel. Okay, I'm in. Yeah, see you later. Manual brakes.
Helsinki Tower, good evening. Finnair 7 Papa Romeo, runway 04 left.
Finnair 7 Papa Romeo, Helsinki Tower, good evening.
Yeah, the lighting was awesome.
Windmill 711, welcome to Helsinki, taxi to holding point Papa Delta.
Taxi holding point Papa Delta, windmill 711. Normally you would have a first officer that helps you. Taxi, pinned messages, airport. Papa Delta is here. Okay, so we go Whiskey Hotel, Papa Delta. I found it. Performance, I mean, it's the same as on the Phoenix. Again, and I'm using frame generation, so I always get 60 FPS really. There's like only Frankfurt Airport where it may drop down below 60 FPS. But usually with frame generation, 60 plus FPS. So I have VSync on, half monitor refresh rate, so that it does sync up very nicely. We leave the engine ITIs on because the apron looks a little bit wet, so it's below 10 degrees. Exactly, here's the de-icing apron. We will have a look at that later, so in about 30 minutes or 40 minutes, depending on how long we take. What? No, Papa Delta, he said. Turned right? He said Papa Delta.
Finnair 7 Papa Roma, wind is 130 degrees.
Oh, you got me worried there. Hang on, let me just check again.
Left clear to land. You may expect stat 15.
No, Papa Delta's here. Oh, you had me worried there.
Clear to left, 15, Finnair 7 Papa Roma.
Oh dear, oh dear. Alrighty. So that after landing, radar predictive wind shear system is off. Yeah, so again, the most favorite airport, I used to love flying to Nice, for example. Man, there were some nice Spanish airports. Portugal, Bilbao comes to mind. Split, Dubrovnik. Man, there's just so many lovely, or the Greek islands. You know, it's hard to pick an absolute favorite. I can't. So Super Gromby, if I remember correctly, so decel. So when you have indication on the primary flight display that the selected auto brake setting has been reached, I think was it 70% or 80% of that value has been reached, the decel light will come on. So the call out means that the auto brake is functioning and the aircraft is achieving at least 80%, I think it was, of your desired deceleration rate. So it's just to help the pilot flying. When he hears decel, that yeah, brakes are working.
Windmill 711 via Papa Delta cross 04 right, continue taxi to stand 21.
Papa Delta cross runway 4 right and continue to stand 21. Thank you, Windmill 711. If I remember correctly, 21 is actually...
Ja, Finnairin 7 Papa Roma, tervetuloa Helsinkiin.
On this side, correct?
Papa Delta.
Yeah, 21 is there. So that's where we're going to park. So it's just straight off, straight over Alpha Delta 21. Okay, so now, if I go, well, in it, I can go somewhere.
Postman 3612.
Options.
Helsinki Tower, good evening. Wind is 130 degrees, 4 knots, runway 04, left clear to land.
Right, let's check the runway is clear, clear, clear. Strobe lights on for the crossing. So there we go, request, gate, and then 21. There it is. Follow me? No. And we'll use Aviator.
Vanta Tower, Scandinavia 52.
So strobe lights off, AQ is running.
For Rovaniemi. Port at Whiskey 44.
Yeah, I'm not making this up, Gomez. The flare, the way the flare works here in the FSLabs is brilliant. It feels very realistic. It really does.
Good evening to you as well. Clear for Rovaniemi from runway 04 right through Tevru.
So we have 3 minutes for the engine cool down. That's fine. Hey mathematics, how are you? And there is our parking spot, 21. I'm not sure if we're going to have docking system available. But there's 21, fantastic. Helsinki Airport. And then let's turn in. It's a longer aircraft, so... Oh yes, we do have docking system. I like it, I like it, I like it. How cool is that? Now that's what I mean with realism and immersion. A321, perfect. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Now all that's missing is that the stop point is on par. I am going to blindly trust the indication there.
Papa Delta, cross runway 04 right and continue taxi to gate 15 Finnair, Papa Roma.
Stop. Okay, fantastic. Let's see.
Helsinki Tower, good evening, Ryanair.
Tails off, bleed air on.
57, ILS 04 left.
1, TCAS transponder. Gonna watch the engines spool down.
Ryanair 98.
Below 30.
Continue approach.
Beacon seatbelts.
Continue approach 9857.
Right, let's have a look. Oh.
Boarding requested.
Beautiful. Yes, Arbor, we're doing one more flight. So we're doing one more flight to Gothenburg. Oh, that's really good. Nice. Love it. Right. Yes, terrain ahead. I do plan to restart the stream. Just so that we, you know, we get those flights separated. And I have a little break as well, terrain ahead. Get myself a coffee, a little bite to eat. Hey, Alba, fantastic. Welcome. Right, so new questions. Have you done a tutorial on frame generation? I have not. I have not.
04 left, clear to land, Ryanair 9857.
Please ensure that you supervise your children for your own safety.
Right, I'm just going to go ahead and settings audio for yeah, that sound does come from VATSIM, strangely enough. Okay. Yeah, so regarding the videos, potential video for frame generation, you would have to search on YouTube. I don't really know, and I can't recommend. The thing is, now that we've logged off, I can show you, for example, first of all, before I forget, and I don't know why it suddenly sets push to talk here. Sorry, reset cockpit view. Why does it do that? I didn't put that in. Test. Right, anyways. So, apply and save. Go back, resume. No, hang on. So regarding general options. So I have a kind of a weird setup. And the reason is I'm using a 4080 graphics card. And, it's a 4090? No, 4090, isn't it? 4090, disregard, 4090. And so it does allow me to use frame generation. Now, what I'm not using DLSS, so the super resolution, because that does make things blurry sometimes on the displays, and I never liked that. So I'm actually using TAA for anti-aliasing, but I'm using frame generation with 50% monitor refresh rate as a frame limit and VSync on. So on my display, I would normally get 60 FPS at the monitor, and for me that's really smooth. And I would assume also doesn't spike the graphics card that hard, because frame generation usually does mean more VRAM and more hit on the GPU. Okay, so TV Revenger writes, so Ventura, have a look for Iceland Sim Pilot here on YouTube. Yeah, I know him. So he's good. Yeah, Iceland Sim Pilot. Have a look for that. He does some good tutorials on that. Any experience flying to Russia in the past? Yes, I've been to Moscow many times. All three airports actually. So all the 3 Moscow, big Moscow airports I've been to. I've been to Kazan. I've been to St. Petersburg. Belarus. I've been to Minsk. So yeah, in the past I have been to Russia, and you know, we're not going into politics, right? I always see things from a human standpoint, and I've enjoyed my trips to Russia a lot. I've met a lot of very nice people there. So that I will say. Will the 321 Neo be independent? Oh, that's a good question. That's a very good question. Let me just check that. It's interesting. Lol, okay. Sorry. Yeah, let me just write that. Cool, yeah, that flight was another very, very nice flight. Oh, yeah, let's have a look at the... So when we arrive, okay, what we do, we have a look at the status page. And that's interesting, Gen 2 INOP. It may just be a little hiccup in the system there. That can happen. Let's have a look at the tech log book here. Yeah, so nothing new. Okay, that looks good. And let's have a look at the flight history. It did log the flight with minus 133 feet per minute. I like it. Question. Let me just put the question to FSLabs. Is the Neo a standalone? Oh, I haven't. Okay, right. I haven't even finished typing the question. I've got the answer already. So yes, but so the question was: will the A321 Neo from FSLabs be independent from the CO? And I've got to wait for the rest of the answer. Okay, so and I am allowed to quote that. Just to be sure I'm not okay. Hang on. Oh, they already announced it. Okay, so okay, no problem. So this is it. So official answer is, so anybody buying the CO first will get a discount until the release of the Neo. So the discounted Neo. So that if you buy the CO, you will get a discount if you then buy the Neo as well. So you will get a discount for the Neo. But they are both separate add-ons. Because I think the question was in P3D, I think you needed the A320 as a base, right? So in P3D, you needed the A320 as a base, and then you could add the 319, 320 on top of that. But you always needed the A320 base. This seems to be different now. So they are both separate products. Yes, and I would say as well, remember guys, and people have been, asking, why are you so late to, so why is FSLabs so late to Microsoft Flight Sim? Well, I mean, they surely have their reasons for being so late, but I think they have some great new features. So, of course, they do appreciate supporting or support by buying the CO and then the Neo afterwards. Right, so having said that, guys, give me 10-15 minutes. Then I will be back for another flight. Although, I'll tell you what we'll do. It's still early enough. I am going to go and power down the aircraft. Okay. So we're going to wait until boarding is, or deboarding is finished. So we still have a couple of passengers on board. Right, so I'm going to wait until they have deboarded, and then we'll do the... Well, first of all, though, hang on, we've got to do the checklist, haven't we? Test. So let me do... Got carried away again with all the questions. So let's do, first of all, No, not this one. Let's do this one first. So we have the parking checklist. Park brakes or chocks. Park brake is set. I think the chocks as well. They are. Yeah, 346 SFO. My pleasure. So I'm treating the brakes well, I hope. Although, I mean, yeah, we can see a bit more wear on the number 2 brake. Number 1 looks okay, but number 2 is already showing some wear. Number 3, 4 look good as well. Okay, so number 2 brake is something we have to monitor a bit. So park brake chocks, and then we've got the engines off and the fuel pumps off as well. So that was the parking checklist. And then we're going to do the secure items as well in a minute. And again, we're just waiting for everything to finish with the offloading. Megas, no worries. Oh yes, the brake fans. You're right. Thanks so much, Megas. Hang on. Why is it not working? Hang on. Oh, they are working. Just the light isn't up. Oh no, that was the PT. So that was the yellow ilic pump. That was not the brake fan. Brake fans are. Oh, I'm silly. I'm stupid because I'm pressing auto brake max. Duh. Right, brake fans. So hit the right switch. And there you hear them now. Yeah. I'm a Boeing pilot now. Sorry. That's my excuse. But there you have it. Imagine flying Boeing. Right, yo. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, they're still deboarding. Good God. Right, in the meantime, let me just go get the flight plan going. So we can do a little bit. Saved flights. Already did the flight plan earlier. So we're doing Helsinki to Gothenburg and departing on the hour, let's say, so 21 UTC. Hey, Max Crosswind, no worries. Yeah, but I will de-ice Max Crossum. So if you're interested, maybe you can watch the replay tomorrow sometime if you're interested. Thank you so much for all the help. Appreciate it. So there we go. Cheers. So we're going to go 156 passengers, extra fuel. Let's have a look what's the weather like in Gothenburg. 08010-bit crosswind, nothing major, so I'm going to go with 800 kilograms extra. Generate the flight. Oh yes, you're right. You can see the deboarding as well here. Yeah. You see that there's so many things here that I'm not familiar with yet. Yeah, of course they have that nicely simulated now. So you can see the whole process through the EFB here. Yeah, there we go. Look, that's just got up. And I guess through GSX, I'm sure you can change the deboarding speeds as well. If you want to have, you know, not real time, but have to happen more quickly. But you would assume that 321 obviously takes a lot longer to deboard compared to a 319, let's say, right? Cool. So what we can do already, I'm going to switch these two off. Let's put that one to off. And then all of that off. APU is off. So that's all done on the overhead panel. I think we did everything here as well. That's off. That can go to above again. Radar is off. That looks all good. Which means I will actually... Yeah. I'll switch off the aircraft. So I'm going to restart the stream in a minute. I'll switch off the aircraft. Restart. And then we'll be back in about 10 minutes, guys. Big thank you to my moderators for all the help, guys. Thank you very much for that. And then thank you for all the resubs that support the show. Thank you so much for watching. If you like, yeah, we'll be doing another flight in about 10-15 minutes. And we will do de-icing. So even though we may not have snowfall right now, we are just simply going to assume that we have cold fuel in the tanks. And we are going to find a little bit of frost on the wings on the outside check. Although, since we had, look at this. So we have some ice on the icing pin indicator. Now, real world. The outer slats are heated. Not the inner. The outer slats are heated, so you won't find any ice here. However, the horizontal stabilizer is not heated, meaning ice would definitely be visible then on this part, or very likely visible here as well. Right, so that means we definitely have to de-ice the wings and stabilizer later on. And we'll talk about that once we are back. What time tomorrow? It should be around 1800 UTC, Peter. 1800 UTC. Flying engineer, I'm not going to make any calls on that. I can just tell you that there are new things in here, right? As you watch the streams, you'll see what new features we have. And what is better is the flying, so the hand flying, especially in the flare. You will notice that it does feel a lot more natural, in the meaning that it's not so floaty. Can you show the cabin? Yes, I can. However, they're still working on that. So right now, it's only accessible through the external view. All right. It is modeled, but they have to redo that so that, just like in the Phoenix, you can open the door, the cockpit door, so that it's part of the cockpit, really, and not part of the outside view. Okay, Peter, yeah, have a good gig. Yeah, hope everything goes well. Hope the weather is nice. For that. No, not yet. We're not back yet. Hang on. Let me just give me 10 minutes, okay? I'm gonna play the outro here in the meantime, and then yeah, we'll be back. See you in about 10 minutes, guys.